710 ESPN Seattle presents Bob and Groz's One More Thing.
Powered by the law offices of Heidi Hunt.
Fearless Friday predictions. You enjoying your early lead, Rockstar Bob?
What am I?
I know you were 6-1 the last 2 weeks. You're probably
2-2 the week before.
Yeah,
So
eight and
some
three.
call that 8-3.
Yep, and I would be 5-6. So you've got a nice early lead going for you right now.
Should I quit now? Walk out on top?
No. Well, you know what? That's no way to become a degenerate gambler. You see, the degenerate gambler now believes he knows, so bets more.
Yeah, I don't know anything. It's absolute luck.
Well, you've been very good so far. We'll stick with the exact same formula. We'll stick with the points. We'll discuss the games. Why not? We've got 4 of them this week. We'll throw in the Sunday night game as well as the Washington State game. They didn't play last week.
Okay.
Want to start with the colleges? Want to start with the Huskies?
Start with the
Huskies. We even talked to David Locke, who babbled on with crazy numbers, and yet he couldn't explain to us why Washington opened up about a 6.5-point underdog and suddenly now are a 10-point underdog. Remembering that all the injury news was known about these two teams by Monday. Steve Sarkisian made his press conference. We knew who was unfortunately out for the season. 2 Huskies gone, including a key contributor at defensive end. Depth hurt at running back. So that was all known when the line was set. Mm-hmm. And yet over the last 2 days, it's jumped up to 10 points. The Huskies are a double-digit underdog.
Maybe it's those Utah bettors that just went crazy.
I guess we've heard something like that too, but boy, this does not seem logical to this reporter. I mean, Utah has been good, but this year is still a crapshoot. Nobody really knows how solid they are. I know they've been a one-loss team, major bowl team very recently, but new offensive coordinator, a bunch of new position guys. This was expected to be, Utah's more of a, I understand it, more of a reloader than a rebuilder. They've really, Kyle Whittingham and before him, Urban Meyer have really created a winning thing there. But first year in the Pac-12, they gave SC a decent game, but eventually were steamrolled by them.
BYU gave them a big gift. 7
turnovers or something like that. Not saying they're not good. I just think this is a gigantic spread against the Washington team that I still don't think can stop anyone. And Cal didn't change
a lot of questions defensively. Nick Holt is still under a lot of pressure with this one.
But offensively?
Offensively, they've looked very good. You've got one of the nation's top running backs in Chris Polk. You've got a guy who's quickly becoming a national name out there in Teeth Price. I just think
great receivers for him. Yeah. I mean, they seem offensively, they're capable of scoring points.
One of the great young tight ends. I'm calling Huskies cover. They're going to cover
Do you think they can win this one outright?
I think they can win, but I'm just going to call for them to cover. I think Utah at home should get the win, but I don't think they're gonna win by 10.
I'll do the same call. I mean, I think Washington's got a great chance to win this game. I think it's going to be really high scoring, like most Washington games, are going to be this year. I'd love to call them a win. I think they got a great shot on it, but we'll stick with what we're doing here, which is the spread. So Washington's definitely within 10 points of Utah. Neither one of us would be even the slightest bit surprised if they won. And if they win, it's a big win. You get a big road win like that in the conference, that's definitely a big deal.
We both believe they can win, but I will not take credit for saying, see, I told you so, if they do win. We're just calling for the cover. I'd probably have to pick, if it's a straight-up winner, I'd pick Utah.
All right, now, on the next game, I think you were inclined to perhaps predict a straight-up winner here. You don't have to. We got the Cougars playing at Colorado. It's pick 'em basically. Colorado's a 3.5-point favorite as of Friday, and that's basically for home field. It feels like one of those games. It's tight. Washington State is off their bye. The San Diego State game was a setback. I mean, there's no getting around it, and a real bad collapse in the fourth quarter for a team that unlike Washington, which has kind of become a team that's now used to winning and winds up winning, that hasn't happened yet at Washington State. I mean, they really are a team that's used to losing and usually loses. San Diego State then went on to Michigan, and they're really not there equal at all on the road. So Washington State was good in that game in the fourth quarter. I'm a little disappointed in seeing how completely they collapsed, though, in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was inclined to pick them straight up during the show earlier. I don't know why. I've had a change of heart. It's a gut feeling. I could be 1,000% wrong. I'm going Colorado on this, and they're going to cover.
Just because?
I don't know what it is. I was going a different way. I actually even voted on our poll question that we have every day. The most likely winner of our 3 local teams.
Yeah, it was Washington State.
Doesn't mean I think they will win. Just they've got the best chance.
I'm sorry, that's a Groz-like move right there.
You think so?
Yeah. We'll see if it works out for you now.
I'm going Colorado, and they will cut. What did you say? 3 points, right?
3.5. Yeah.
3.5. I will take Colorado, giving up the 3.5.
I'm going to go ahead and call the upset, so the Cougars fans will love the Groz for a while, even though I'm not confident about it because of how the San Diego State game ended. But I do think Washington State is a program that is moving forward a little bit. This is a little bit of a reach, but I like the matchup with Colorado. I like the Marshall, the Big Lobster, to get it done for them.
Okay.
And we'll go with the Cougars. All right, it leads us to the hometown 11. Your Seattle Seahawks, and if you were listening to Bob and Groz, as I know you do every weekday between 12 and 3.
As you should be.
It's 12 to 2 on Friday. We found out about 1 o'clock. Bad news for the Seahawks. Cam Chancellor listed as doubtful, deep thigh bruise. We know he did not practice on Wednesday. I do not know if he even tried to get out there on Thursday or Friday, but it's listed as doubtful. We have found in the Pete Carroll era that normally means out.
So it normally means out, but even if he's in, he's not 100%. He's not 100%. Gallery's out, obviously,
right,
and he'll be out for a few more weeks. But so Chancellor's out. Potentially, but even if he's there, not
he's
100%.
limited.
So I think, listen, they had their hands full even with him there. I think Atlanta's just got an offense that is ready to explode. They've got far too many weapons with Matt Ryan and Roddy White and Julio Jones and Tony Gonzalez and Michael Turner. I mean, they've got so many options. It's a pick your poison thing, and the strength of the Seahawks is the defense. But what we've seen so far is that they spend a lot of time on the field.
Yeah.
That the offense of the Seahawks has not been able to give the defense much help in any of these games. So they're spending a lot of time on the field. You spend that much time on the field against this team, I think they're ready to explode. They desperately need this win before their schedule gets tougher, talking about the Falcons. I don't like it for the Seahawks. What's the spread on it?
It's 5.5, which went from 3.5 to 5.5, and Chancellor being out might make it move even a little bit more. But
we're
now
going with 5.5.
Atlanta is a 5.5 point favorite.
I'm going to take the Falcons giving up the points.
You think they're going to cover the spread?
Yeah.
I think.
Would love to be wrong,
I know,
as you and I both were last weekend against the Cardinals.
Right, and the Cardinals did, man, and that was another one which kind of moved a lot during the week. But boy, I think the Chancellor thing is bad, like I know you do. I mean, I've said that I think it's the Seahawks puncher's chance all year, the way they played defense last week. If they can be within, I was saying to you, Rockstars, 28-3 in the second half. I mean, you're not feeling good about lucky breaks.
No.
If you can keep it to 14-3, third or fourth quarter, you get a lucky break and get a touchdown, all of a sudden it's a ball game. I think that's the way it's always going to be for the Seahawks. Let's not forget, even though they won last week, they're averaging 10 points a game. 1 drive a game. This is a good defensive team they're up against. I think their chance of keeping it under control took a huge hit. I think Atlanta is going to come out guns blazing. I expect to see them come out blitzing like crazy on defense. And I think, unlike the max protected they've been doing the past couple of weeks, and Matty Ice taking as many hits as Tavares Jackson, I think they're the top 2 teams in giving up sacks. I think they're going to spread their guys out. I don't think you're going to see guys in to block. I think they're going to try and hit the Seahawks early. I think the book on the Seahawks is if you can possibly get this team behind a couple touchdowns, you got them.
You don't like them playing from behind with that offense.
No, so I'd like to disagree with you, but I do not. I think the Falcons, and I think they cover the spread as well. Last chance for us to disagree, and we might, is the Friday night game, Baltimore against the New York Football Jets.
Sunday night game,
excuse me, I say Monday night, Sunday night game. Baltimore against the Jets is the matchup.
In New York?
The game is in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
The Ravens are 3.5 point favorite.
It's in Baltimore.
I'll go first if you want.
Go ahead.
I think the Jets win this game. I think they're off a tough game against the Raiders last week. I think the Jets going to win this game in a way that is going to. I think it's going to make Joe Namath happy. I haven't followed it closely enough why Joe Namath was so pissed off with the preparation the Jets had last week.
I read a headline about it.
I know he is. I know they've been carping about it a little bit, but I think. Sounds crazy, but I think against the Ravens, the Jets have got to throw the football, and I think they will throw the football. I think with Burris and Moss, you have an edge on maybe the only weakness of that Baltimore team, which is out on the wings. Matt Hasselbeck, Kenny Britt destroyed that defense. Plexico is not Kenny Britt. I understand that. Moss is pretty close, but I think Sanchez is going to have to throw the ball. I think he will throw the ball. I think the Jets are going to win this game. So I'm going to take. Obviously, the points.
So you're going to
I take the Jets
again?
3.5.
Jets plus 3.5. I'm going to go with Baltimore. So we're going to disagree again.
Tell me how you think Baltimore's going to do it.
Well, I think their defense, when you got Suggs and Lewis and Haloti Ngata there, and then you go the other side. I think Flacco is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in this league. Doesn't get a lot of love when you talk about the great young quarterbacks in this league. I just think we saw them explode on the Rams, and I don't know that that's a great gauge because clearly the Rams aren't what we thought they were going to be yet. But I think they found a guy out there. You got a young receiver, and what is his name? Torrey Smith?
Unbelievable. Torrey Smith has been absolutely incredible.
First 3 catches.
Impact player.
Yeah, so they kind of uncovered a gem there in addition to what they already have. I just like them. I think they're going to come in there. I think it's a very intense team, and Ray Lewis is the guy that sets the tone for that team, and it seems like he sets it on both sides with Ray Rice out there on offense running the ball. I just think they're going to give up 3.5. I think that's easy. I go Baltimore in this one.
Isn't football great?